Well, welcome everyone. This is Gentle Flow, and I was just kind of posing the question to you guys if you needed anything specific for the practice. And I opened up that question yesterday morning to someone. Saturday was a day off, and I decided to take the full day off. And someone had reached out to me that I hadn't seen in a few months. And she was really excited. She was like, "Well, come to your class in the morning." And I just wanted to let you know because I'm excited. I haven't seen you in a while. And so I reached out to her and I texted her back and was like, "Well, do you want anything specific? You know, do you want me to throw in your favorite pose, or do you want me to do a certain thing?" And she said, "Let me think about it." And she goes, "Do I have time to think about it?" I said, "Yes, I'm taking the day off. I'm not even going to think about it until the morning." And so by the time the day ended, she sent me a text saying, "Yes, I really want you to focus on expectations. Can you theme your class around expectations?" So, okay. So she went on to say, she goes, "I know I'm not alone in this. I know other people may need to hear the message, but I know I'm not the only one planning things and then it totally falling apart and it not happening." And she goes, "I'm a planner, you know, I like to, you know, have certain things set in place. I like to look forward to things, and just nothing, everything keeps falling apart." And she said that she has a shaman that she checks in with, and the shaman told her, expectations breed disappointments. And there's another common expression that says, expectations feeds frustration. And I thought, great, okay, I have this thing now. And that's a thing that we talk about actually pretty often in yoga. We may change the verbiage up a little bit. But the reason why this shows up in yoga is because it shows up in the yogic philosophy. If you look at Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, there is a common theme throughout the book: practice and non-attachment. Practice and non-attachment, practice and non-attachment, practice and non-attachment. So maybe hearing that, you're thinking, well, what does that have to do with expectations? Because non-attachment is letting go of expectations. Non-attachment is letting go of what you're wanting the outcome to be. Practicing non-attachment is letting go of always thinking we're in control, okay? And non-attachment is something that shows up with people, places, things, scenarios. And it shows up in the 8-limb path of yoga under aparigraha. And it shows up again in the series that we just did on kleshas, which is the root causes of suffering. Expectations can create suffering because the piece of the suffering that I'm mentioning is the fear of the unknown and the fear of change, which boils down to expectations, right? Something's not happening the way we expect it to go. So that's what I want us to be contemplative about as we go through our practice. We can even put expectations on ourselves with what our bodies are capable of doing. Or we may put the expectations on our body that we can't do something, and if we tried it, we might actually could do it. Do you see what I mean? It could go either direction. And so I want us to notice when we're going through the poses today, if we're putting expectations on ourselves, and let them go. Notice it, be aware of it, and go, I see you, okay. That's not the yoga, because the yoga is letting that piece go. And if we can learn to do that over and over again here on the mat while we're practicing, that's why it's practice non-attachment. It's the practice for life. So when things don't go our way, or when things do fall apart, we can let go of the expectation. I'll go ahead and share this with you guys. So most of you know that my son and I moved in with my boyfriend and his daughter a couple years ago. And so that was a whole new dynamic, right? Now you have two adults that are set in their ways, coming into the same household. And then you've got two teenagers going through their own stuff, coming into the same household. And we have to let go of the expectations we have on each other. And we just have to let each other be themselves. It can show up with certain household chores, right? They may not do it the same way you did it, but can you just be happy that they pitched in to help? It doesn't have to be your way. So think about how we put probably the most expectations on ourselves and the people we love the most. It could be our parents, it could be our children, it could be our spouse or our lover or partner. Let it go. And here's another way of looking at it. It's an elusive form of control. And the only thing we're really in control of is our own thoughts, our own words, and our own actions, period. So let's consider that, and we'll start on our backs. And you're gonna roll down to your spine where the feet are gonna widen, about as wide as your sticky mat. Let your arms kind of fan out, but then place your hands lightly to your belly. I want your hands to rest somewhere in the upper frame of the belly, maybe at the navel or slightly above, because this is what we call the solar plexus. This is the place of the indwelling place of the sun. This is where the digestive fire is. And that digestive fire is not just for the food that we eat, it's for life experiences that we're trying to process. So we're going to be stoking a little bit of this inner fire at the beginning of the practice, but this is also the place of our confidence. This is the place of our ego. This is the residence of our emotional body. But this is also where we can either be empowered or disempowered. And sometimes expectations can disempower us. So now start to focus on your breath. And as you're inhaling, feel how the belly expands and balloons up and out. As you exhale, feel the belly soften and it retracts down and in. When we have movement here in the belly, we know that we're taking a conscious breath, a diaphragmatic breath, a yogic breath. And this muscle that's dome-shaped here at the base of the ribs expands and contracts in order to help to draw the air into the lungs, but also to push the toxins and air back out of the lungs. When we're breathing in this manner, it's helpful for our digestive tract. It is helpful to lessen our stress. And when we're breathing this way, we can also let go of these high expectations. Let's take a few more deep breaths. And then let's go ahead and inhale, slide the feet back. When you slide the feet back, anchor the ankles right up underneath your knees and let your arms come down beside your body, palms face down. On your in-breath, keep your arms stationed to the floor, push out through the soles of the feet, and start to tuck the tailbone, lifting thighs, hips, abdomen, and chest. This is going to bring some traction to your neck. Keep your chin in line with your chest, and maybe see if you can look towards or beyond the belly. Try to keep your feet
Pressurize to the floor so that your knees stay narrow instead of being out and away. Feel your hamstrings and your muscles in the buttocks, the glutes, fire up. Feel the low back, fire up. And then as you exhale, gently roll it down one vertebra at a time. When you land your sacrum, fly the left foot up in the air. Suspend the leg over the body and then clasp your hands around the back of your thigh. If that is very easily accessible, try your hand at sliding up to the calf. Is that possible? If your breath gets caught, held, or restrained, that's a signal you're doing too much physically. So slide the hands back down. If your breath is still open and free, and you feel like you've moved or inched towards your edge of flexibility, you can stay. You can even go deeper by sliding the hands more towards the foot. Keep the low back stationed to the floor. Spread the toes and push the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling panel and feel how that activates the muscles more. And then as you exhale, lower the foot down to the ground. Bring your arms back beside your body. Your right knee's gonna stay bent, your left leg straight. Once your heel lands, point the toes. Inhale, sail the leg skyward. Exhale, flex the ankle and lower down with the heel, but try to hover instead of touching your mat. Good, point the toes. Inhale, lift up. Single leg lifts. Exhale, flex the ankle. Keep the leg straight and lower and hover the foot. Point the toes. Inhale, sail it up. Exhale, flex the ankle. Lead with the heel to lower and hover just a few inches. Let's do one more. Notice how we're engaging the muscles to the legs, but we're strengthening the hip flexors and we're strengthening the lower belly. Good, now slide your left foot back. Fly the right leg skyward. Clasp a hold at your thigh. Testing the waters to see if it's possible to maybe take it higher to the calf. If it goes to the point of pain or strain, then you're operating from the ego. And the ego is what creates expectations. So let it go. Spread the toes. Push the padding of the foot up. Draw the leg inward so you find that edge of flexibility. And then on your out breath, release your hands beside you. Slowly take the right leg down to the mat. We're going to start with the foot on the floor. Point your toes. Inhale, single leg lifts. Let the right leg soar overhead. And then flex the ankle and gently lower. You guys are going at a great pace. I like the slow motion. When you're going slow and maintaining that sense of control with your body, you're actually going to get stronger. You're going to build more stamina and endurance this way. Inhale, sailing it up when you're ready. And exhale, flexing and lowering down with your out breath. On this one, go ahead and walk your right foot back to join your left. Your knees are bent, you're stationed on your back, your arms are beside you, palms down. Inhale, lift to bridge pose again, Setu Bandhasana. That was the first one we did. With the knees bent, you're activating the back of your legs and the glutes. You're activating your low back, those erector muscles alongside the spine. We're gonna take it slightly deeper now though. We're gonna rock our weight towards one shoulder, and then the other shoulder is gonna pick up and scoop under the body, and then lean to that side, and then scoop the other shoulder under. And notice how it lifts the chest more towards your chin, creating a little bit more of a back bend shape. Affirming here as you hold, I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. As you exhale, widen your shoulders, gently roll it down one vertebra at a time. Pick up your left foot, cross it over the right knee. Now, just to check in with you guys, because this truly is one of the most gentle ways to do this pose that we're doing. And there are days and times where this is all you want. If your body's calling for more, pick up your right foot. Lace your hands around the back of your right thigh again, but this time you're hugging the thigh towards you. And with that ankle cross, you're gonna really open up the left hip. Notice what you're carrying around in this left hip, because life shows up in the body. Sometimes when we have those disappointments or frustrations with the people in our lives, this is where it can show up. In the hips, in the low back. It's also the expectations that are work related. Every inhalation, breathe in that new life force energy. Every exhalation, feel as though you're leaving some of that stale or stagnant energy behind. Exhale, let's release the hands. Once you set both feet to the floor, now cross your right ankle over the left knee. Pick up the left foot. Actually check in with your foot down, and that may be enough. If that's not enough, then pick up your left foot. Lace your hands behind your leg. Hug it in towards your heart. And just notice, is there a huge contrast between the two sides, or is it fairly similar? This is one of those poses that can also target the piriformis, and that can get really tight. It's kind of in between the hip and the buttocks, or kind of mixed in with the outer glutes. Good, exhale, release. All right, step both feet down. This will be our last pose on our backs. Fan your knees open. Bring the soles of the feet to meet. And bring your hands back to your belly. Close your eyes. This is a more relaxed position. And we're just letting gravity take over. So if we want gravity to assist us in this pose, we need to let go of resistance. So if you find that you're contracting your inner or outer thighs or any muscles in the buttocks, let it go. Let those muscles get soft. So that way this pose can focus on the hip joints. Let the knees gravitate down. And then affirm mentally in your mind, secure in myself, I accept whatever is, as I let go of expectations. Now gently lift your left knee up. Roll to your right side body. Push down into your left palm and then slowly come up. How we doing? Separate your feet. Bring your hands to your shins. We'll do a seated cat-cow this way today. So when you're ready, you're gonna scoop the heart through the knees and then turn your chin and nose up. And then as you exhale, you're pulling in through the belly, you're narrowing your legs a little bit and straightening your arms and pushing back into your shoulder blades. Inhale, you are creating a little back bend, letting your shoulders crank back towards your spine as your heart opens up. And exhale, round and roll it back. So continue to do this as you breathe. Inhale through the middle. Exhale, rolling it back. I can't remember if it's I think it's a Chinese proverb actually. That says you're only as young and as healthy as your spine. And in yoga, we work the spine in all 6 directions it's meant to go. Back bending, forward folding, side bending, and twisting. So we're going to continue with these different movements on the spine here. Come back to sit tall. Slip your left shoulder to the inside of the left knee. You're just kind of leaning into it. And then you're going to inhale, take a twist. Reach the right arm out and up. I say often, and I'm going to say it again, if you have one of these newer, more technological vehicles that have the, whatever that thing is, the video, right? Of when you're like backing up into a space or whatever. Mm-hmm. Use it, of course, to be safe, but also remember, use your own body. Turn, twist, look over your shoulder, because that's going to keep the body more healthy. Exhale, bring the right arm down. Lower the shoulder just to kind of lean into that side, and sweep the left arm out and up towards the hips. Kind of cast your gaze off in that direction as well. If you look towards the hand, it's hasta drishti, but don't strain your neck if that's too much. And then exhale, drape it down. All right, bring your left foot in, and then your right foot in front of that, and set your hands beside you, resting on your finger pads. Inhale, settle the left arm skyward. Exhale, lean to the right. And don't feel like you have to go very far, because sometimes just doing this is like, oh, that's enough. Right? Some days we have a little bit more pliability than other days. Right? Sometimes it's even dependent on the weather. Sure. Do you find that? Your body gets a little stiffer when it's cold or when it's rainy. And then I want you to affirm mentally as you hold and breathe. Strength and courage is filling up my body cells. Inhale, come up to the top, and exhale, release the hand. Good, inhale, right arm cells up. Exhaling over to the left. So I love it when students that have been with me for a while share with me the affirmation that comes up for them, because each person is so unique. Like Gwen, her favorite was, I am safe, I am sound, and good things come to me. Debbie Rubenstein, her favorite is my body is no burden, and his life is there. And Donna, who's normally here, but she's visiting her grandbaby right now, she told me last week, she said, I'm just not as young as when my other grandbabies were born, and I know they want my help. And I just keep telling myself, strength and courage fill my body cells. That was the kind of mantra that she was taking with her on her trip. Inhale, let's bring it up. Exhale, relax it down. All right, now we're going to come up to stand. I would suggest 2 blocks, just in case you want to use them, set close to the top of your mat. And I want us to rock today. I used to do this a lot when I first started teaching, and I hardly ever do it now. I just want us to kind of rock on our feet a little bit, because think about how often the feet are just trapped in shoes. Spread your toes when you're rocking forward to the balls of the feet. All right, and then just now plant the feet and just sway the body forward and back. And then find where you're aligned and balanced and straight, standing tall with equanimity on the front and the back sides of the feet and on each side. And then bring your hands to Namaste at the heart. As you inhale, let your arms circle wide and up. And as you exhale, flow down into a forward fold. Uttanasana. Let your shoulders just hang and drip down. Same with your head and your neck. Root the feet, lodge them into the floor, and then pull up through the knees and the quads. And then inhale, slide your hands to your shins, lengthen out to the vertebrae, let your shoulders break back away from your ears. And then exhale, bow back over and down. Inhale, coming up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart. This is called a half sun salutation. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, fold in half. Let go of expectations here, because lots of times when we're new to yoga, we're like, well, I can't touch my toes, and really that doesn't matter. We're here just to free up space in the body, mind, and heart. Inhale, hands slide up, Phyllis. Lengthen through that space behind the heart. So yeah, Mary, shine your heart forward, lift the sternum. That's it. Good, now exhale, drape down. Inhale up to the top. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more of this. Inhale, open and expand, and then exhale, guide in. Inhale, lift and lengthen out. Exhale, pour right back down. All right, from here, you may want blocks to set alongside your feet, because we're going to step the left foot back. And again, you can have your hands to the floor. It doesn't have to be on blocks, but they can be of good assistance. All right, once you're here with the left foot back, you're going to turn and plant that foot. Bury the feet down, and then slowly come up. Okay, so really push down through your back heel. You're going to stretch out the back calf muscles. You're lunging the front knee, but it's not like a deep, severe lunge. It's just a light lunge. And then square your hips. Bring your hands to your hips. Try to roll the left hip towards the knee or towards the front. Your right hip may go back just a little bit. Good, then let your arms hang. All right, on your in-breath, you're pushing through the right foot, and your arms sail up to frame the face. And as you exhale, the arms come down, and you're going to re-lunge the knee. And you're going to try to keep the spine vertical instead of leaning forward. Okay, inhale, straighten the front leg, arms lift. Exhale, arms down, knee lunges. You got it. Again, inhale. And exhale. All right, now we're going to change it up. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, widen your arms. Feel how that really opens the chest. And then you're going to hinge forward about halfway. Power down through that front foot. Activate and engage that front leg. Keep shining the heart forward, crown of the head reaching forward. I know this is tough for the lower body. Breathe. And then exhale, bring the hands down. When you bring the hands down to the blocks, this is where, if you want to continue to play with your flexibility, you can bend the elbows, and you can lower, but it may be too much to lower. Let go of expectations. As we fold over to pyramid pose, I want you to affirm internally to yourself. I give myself over into the flow of grace. We can let go of expectations. We are moving into that flow of grace, that flow of allowance. All right, lunge the front knee, wiggle the back toes, back, 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 back. All right, now feel that deeper lunge. This is what I mean by deeper lunge, right? Because the thigh is more parallel to the floor. Lose the blocks, plant the palms, step to plank. And if plank is too much, you know in gentle, you can lower your knees. So you can be a tabletop. We're gonna flow. So we're gonna shift forward and drop down to like a low push-up. And we're gonna come all the way to the floor. So you're just building strength on the way down. And then at last you just give into gravity. Let your toes and legs lengthen back behind you. Hands underneath the shoulders, roll up to Bhujangasana, Cobra Snake. Exhale, lower to the brow. Keep your legs lengthening back. Keep your buttocks firm. Pubic bone pressing down as you inhale, rise up again. Bhujangasana. Good. Exhale, release. One more round. Lengthen your legs, far into the buttocks. Inhale, roll it up. And then exhale, come down. All right, inhale, you're pushing up to all fours. Curling the toes once you arrive to lift the knees and form plank. Taking a few deep breaths here. We'll hold up our own body mass. We're building strength, not just in the muscles, but the bones. All right, exhale, press back. Downward facing dog. Where the hips go up and you're making that inverted V shape or TP shape with your body. Exhale, land your knees. Press back into child's pose. In child's pose, however, make sure the elbows are lifting up. And that will help to create traction in your back. And you'll get a stretch in the pit of the arms. Keep your hands shoulder distance apart. So it keeps the width between the shoulder blades. And it's going to help to create a flush in the lymph nodes that are held here. Again, take another deep breath. Good. Rock forward to table. Curl the toes, relift to plank. Holding and breathing. If you need to modify, you know you can come to table. All right, shift forward, lower down, 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 slowly but surely. Hands aligned under the shoulders, legs lengthen back. Roll it up to cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale to cobra. Good. Exhale, release. Inhale, one more cobra. Good. Exhale, release. Inhale, push up to table. Exhale, back to extended child's pose. Hands stay kind of super glued to the mat. The head does not have to touch the floor. It's okay for it to hover. Just keep your neck in line with your spine and your ears in line with your upper arm bones. So it's like you're looking down towards your mat. Affirm here as you hold that our prayers for all of mankind to live in harmony and in peace. Think about the harmony and peace you could give to yourself and your loved ones if you just dropped the expectations. Inhale, rock up to hands and knees. Exhale, curl the toes, launch into downward facing dog. So there was a lady leaving the last class that did the same thing, did a different practice. And while she was leaving, she said, I really needed to hear this message today because my son just moved and my husband and I were helping him move. And I started laughing. So I was like, I can only imagine he probably didn't pack or prepare the way you would have. And she said, no. And then we were wanting to decorate the house. And I don't have to say so, right? Drop the expectations. All right, inhale, walk and travel the feet forward and up. Lift halfway up on arrival, send hands to the shins as you lengthen out, and exhale, release. Now bring in the blocks again, set them beside the feet. And we're gonna step the right foot back. Turn and plant that back foot and slowly come up. All right, we're gonna do the same sequence we started with. So before we do anything else, a light lunge, nothing too extreme, right, with the front knee. Hands to the hips, square them up. Really activate your back leg. It's part of your foundation. Once you have everything lined up, relax your arms. Inhale, straighten the front leg, arms reach. Exhale, arms lower and lunge the knee. 2 more times. Try not to lean the torso. And last round. This is where we change it up with pyramid. Inhale, coming up, add a warrior 1, and then separate your arms. Arms wide open. Think of this as being the wings of the heart. And then exhale, tip forward. I wouldn't go any lower than halfway. So if you need to be higher, be higher. If you can get your trunk parallel to the floor, then of course you can be there. Your feet are active, your legs are active, your core is active. Notice how much gravity is like, just come on down, right? So let go, bring the hands down to the blocks. And then at that point, if you want to continue to bow, you may. Drive your left hip towards the back wall, roll your right hip around towards the front wall. Give myself over into the flow of grace. I choose in this moment to give grace to those who have not met my expectations. Inhale, slowly lift the head up, lunge the knee, wiggle, 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 wiggle the right toes back. Now we're in that deeper lunge. Separate the blocks away, stack onto the palms, and when you're ready, step into your plank. Holding just a few breaths. And then go ahead and descend your knees down to the floor. Flip your left palm open, thread it under the right arm, sink down towards your left ear. Yeah, just keep bending the right arm to see if you can descend. Yeah, just keep bending that right arm and see if you can dip down. Good. Is that better? Yes. Okay, cool. You can use the right hand to kind of press into the floor to roll more towards the shoulder, left shoulder blade, but it's not necessary. Always checking in with your breath. Is your breath readily available? Breathe into the backside of the heart. Inhale, press through the right hand, just come all the way back up. Flip your right hand, bend your left elbow, and see if you can come to thread the needle to the other side. And by bending the left arm, if you can't drop all the way down, just pad your head or your shoulder with a bolster, a blanket, something of that nature. So you can have that blend of effort and ease. This is probably one of my favorite yogic twists because it's a nice hybrid blend between not only a twist, but an inversion, where the hips and the heart are higher than the head. Good, push into the left palm and slowly unthread the right arm, and then we'll come down for a seat. When you come to a seat though, the left leg's gonna straighten out. The right one's gonna bend. Okay, so just so you know, you can do lots of things here. If you prefer this opening for the hip, you can be here and take the twist. You may prefer the knee up in taking the twist. You could also pop the foot over and take the twist. One is not better than the other, so figure out what works better for your body. So I usually like the knee up and foot crossed over, but today I want to be more open, so I'm going to follow you, Mary. So ground your seat and flex that front foot. Lift up through your trunk, and as you exhale, twist to the right. If the knee is up, you're going to do what Beth is doing. You're going to hug it in. And so then you'll twist the other way. No, your knee's right. Oh. Just twist towards the right. Yeah, you're good. Now, if you have the hip open like I do, it's very easy to pull the knee up, but see if you can allow it to release down. Yeah. Oh, how nice. They're washing the windows. Sorry, they never did that at my place that I used to have. I used to have to do it. That's nice. Get all the pollen off. All right, exhale, unwind. Feels so good. All right, right leg out. Okay, think about your hip. Think about the twist you just did. Do you want to approach it the same way? Or do you want the knee up or the foot crossed over? Got choices. Square the hips, root your sits bones, have that knee facing up, the toes pointed up, crown up, and then exhale, twist left. Yeah. So help me out, you guys, since we're doing a twist. What other times of the day do you find yourself twisting if it's not to look over your shoulder when you're driving? There's not a lot, really, as we age, right? And that's my point. We need twist. We need this. Our body needs this. The only thing I can think of is if maybe a golfer, right? When you swing the club, there's a little bit of a twist there. Or tennis, maybe. All right, exhale, unwind. All right. We're gonna lower to the floor. Have your blocks side by side. And your bolster angled like this. Oh, you know what? I had said you could do legs at the wall. You want to do this first, and then let's do this one first. And then I'll give you the option to go to legs at the wall. Let's do this one first where the legs kind of cascade over the bolster. You can lower down to your back. I want your hands to rest on your abdomen again. And close your eyes. So we set our intention to use this theme today to inspire us to move beyond expectations. And we do this to open up the mind, and we do this to open up the heart. We do this to let go and not trying to judge or label things being pleasant or unpleasant, comfortable or uncomfortable. There's a quote that you might have heard that I want to share. Try not to expect anything, because in this way, everything is open to you. Try not to expect anything, because in this way, everything is open to you. And I'm going to share this little statement because I already said it at the beginning, but this is someone else's words and it may come home to you a little bit easier hearing it a different way. We often hold ideas into how people or situations should be, but that's not necessarily how they are. If we narrowly focus on expectations and specific outcomes, we're closing ourselves off to a wide spectrum of experiences and possibilities. So can we stay open to what each moment brings? Can we see it as a gift of other opportunities to come in, to learn from, to grow from? Now return to your breath. Feeling the belly swell as you breathe in, and deflate as you breathe out. I want you to notice the subtle signals that you get when you breathe in and as you breathe out. Notice how the inhalation is an invitation. An inhalation can bring inspiration, but the exhalation can help us to release and let go. So my suggestion is, if you notice you're caught up in expectations, focus on exhaling. Exhale to release and let go. Now, if you prefer being here for the final phase of this practice for Shavasana, you can just stay. You may be perfectly content. But we did just have a full moon over the weekend, and if your sleep was off, if you felt like you were too busy and you want to really help to recalibrate your system, then I would go to a wall and do legs up a wall, because it is medicinal, especially during times of insomnia or high voltage stress. Again, you can stay or you can swap to this final offer of a pose.
So Shavasana is about releasing and relaxing and letting go. Right? We're letting go of our movements. We're letting go of the muscular engagement. We're letting go of skeletal alignment. And we're just taking a position to rest in. This helps the mind and body assimilate the benefits of what we've been doing. This also gives us an opportunity to meditate if that's in our practice. I would suggest meditating on just one thing. Maybe that is just watching the breath coming and going, or feeling the belly rising and falling. But give your mind one singular task, even if it's just relaxing and listening to the music. Release the thoughts, release the feelings, release the movements, and just be. Turn to the breath. If that has not been your focus. And even if it was your focus of watching, now begin to control. Feel the wave of the breath rolling from the belly up to the chest, back down. And if your legs are up the wall, slide the feet down the wall. If you've been reclined on your back, hug your knees in. And everyone roll to your favorite side. Acclimate there. And then come up for a formal seat. Sitting however is comfortable for your body. Cross-legged's not always comfortable for everyone. You can have your legs straight or limbs demonstrating. It doesn't have to look like this. But I do want your spine extended. Yeah. Your heart lifting. And bring your hands to prayer position to rest at your heart center. I hope that we can all take this lesson with us beyond the mat today. To remember to breathe when we need to release and let go. And to remember not to impose any expectations upon ourselves or another. Instead, to practice one of these main principles of yoga, which is non-attachment. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Thank you guys for letting me lead you today. I hope it was a reminder for everyone